Charter schools have spent more than $2 million of your money on marketing and advertising just in the last 4 years.
Chris Jones and our Beyond the Books unit has uncovered the costly ad spending. And Chris, this money goes to advertising firms instead of to the kids. Is that what we're learning?
Yeah, that's right. Ad firms and Facebook. Actually, a lot of money goes to Facebook. Money that isn't buying schools, upgrading your books, or paying for teachers.
2019 is just beginning.
We have some exciting announcements.
To me, it felt like it was a waste of money, no educational value.
Trent Young is a former teacher at the online charter school, Utah Career Path High. He says the curriculum was weak, teacher support was lacking, and student grades were marginal. But he says the school did excel at something: advertising.
It did kind of surprise me how much of an emphasis was put on marketing to get more students.
Young says marketing was an obsession of administrators, and in at least one staff meeting, the school's director handed out to the staff a bunch of glossy posters hawking the school.
She wanted us to go out and put them up at restaurants and on bulletin boards.
They wanted you to do some shilling for them.
Yeah, they did.
Was that uncomfortable? I mean, you're a teacher.
Oh, yeah. It was.
In fact, Beyond the Books has discovered that Utah Career Path High has spent more than $152,000 of taxpayer money on advertising over the past 4 years. Money that could never be spent at a traditional school like the one in your neighborhood. Our investigation found that only one traditional school district, Canyon Schools, spent significant money on ads, $70,000 to inform voters of an upcoming ballot initiative. That was required, however, by state law. Do you think that schools should have to market to get students?
Absolutely not.
Our weeks-long investigation reveals that Utah Career Path High isn't the only charter school to spend your dollars on ads. Do you know how much you've spent so far this year on advertising?
It's roughly $180,000 to $220,000.
Delana Tonks is the principal of charter school Mountain Heights Academy. Beyond the Books found that when it comes to charter school ad buying, Mountain Heights is the biggest spender. In fact, during the last 4 years, they've shelled out nearly $900,000, mostly on Facebook ads, to get the word out about the school. I mean, that's money that's not going into the classroom, right? How does that help students?
So what that works out to is about a cost of a cup of coffee per day per student.
Our marketing reflects, a fraction of 1%.
Matt Throckmorton with Utah Military Academy echoes Tonks. He says although his school has spent nearly $250,000 on ads since 2015, he points out that less than 1% of his budget goes into marketing. And that's marketing, he says, that charter schools desperately need.
Well, if we don't do the advertising, if we don't have the students, we don't have a school. So we definitely have to advertise.
But not all charter schools have the same philosophy. Summit Academy, with 2,400 students, spends almost nothing on advertising. In total, however, charter schools have spent $2.1 million on advertising since 2015. Most of that by just 10 charter schools. Money that isn't making their school any better. According to the most recent assessment of Utah schools, Trent's former school, Utah Career Path High, ranks 664th out of 950. Mountain Heights Academy, although not failing, isn't an overwhelming success, coming in at 411th. And the Utah Military Academy ranks as one of the worst high schools in the state. That money that you spend on advertising could go towards maybe raising that grade a little bit.
Well, again, the advertising, if we don't do the advertising, we don't have the students.
When you introduce competition, I don't believe it's going to lead to anything good.
For Trent, he says during his time at Utah Career Path High, he was asked to hand out flyers, attend open houses, and fundraisers. He says he wanted to teach, not spend his time as a part-time salesman for charter schools.
Since then, every time I hear a radio ad, promoting like a charter school, I just think, that's very expensive, and that is taxpayer money that could be going towards educational expenses.
Now, Beyond the Books spent weeks going through information at utahtransparency.com. Now, there is nothing illegal about charter schools spending money on ads. In fact, if a school is financially stable and living up to their mission statement or their charter, then they can pretty much spend their money any way they want. They've got a lot of latitude. Now, if you have an education story that you think needs to be investigated, give us a call. There's the number on your screen.
All right, Chris.